Outside, but the heat is still well and truly on the property market. In fact, the competition at auctions at the moment is so strong that we're seeing more cases of the hammer falling to a buyer who has only seen the property for the first time on the day of the auction. It has a lot to do with the economy, and in this special budget edition of the Kay Burton Report, we speak to National Australia Bank Chief Economist Alan Oster. But first to the market report and the highest auction clearance rates in 5 years. It's all about timing when it comes to buying and selling, and according to Domain Group Senior Economist Dr. Andrew Wilson, with interest rates cut this month to 2%, now is as good a time as ever.
There's a lot of buying and selling decisions being brought forward to take advantage of the confidence and the enthusiasm in the marketplace. Plenty of momentum, lower interest rates, improve affordability, and those aspirational mid-price and upper-price buyers, particularly in the eastern suburbs, very, very active at the moment. And those auction clearance rates really are quite spectacular at the moment, over 80%. Through April into May, we have seen a very strong auction market.
I don't think the market's overheated, but I think it is strong right across the board, right from the first home buyers right through to the very high end of the market.
On the back of those results, it's no surprise that the residential property index has made a sharp turn upwards.
The residential property index for the first quarter, which was released in April, has come out at 21, positive 21 against a positive 12 result in the fourth quarter last year. So that's a great turnaround, and it's now sitting comfortably above the long-term average of plus 14. So there's good momentum in the residential property index.
Foreign buyers currently account for 20% of purchases in the new home market. However, over the next few weeks, this figure could rise as overseas investors avoid a new tax set to kick in on July 1.
We have noticed that there is increased level of interest and concern to this new regulation, but it's only going to accelerate and motivate them to make their decision. Well, the 3% tax, we do think that it's probably going to affect the lower end of the market, which is more of your under 1 million market price. It won't affect the top end of the market.
Looking ahead to winter, our experts agree it's still a good time to sell.
I think we've got so much momentum moving into winter that we will see one of the best winter markets we've ever seen. Confidence keeps rolling along, and that lower interest rate environment now is certainly a positive for that. So look forward to a strong winter market, I believe, this year in Melbourne.
When I look at the budget, what I'm seeing is a government that is essentially keeping the budget neutral as far as the economy is concerned. Yes, it sort of did a lot of things for small business, but whilst it had a lot of spending, it also had a lot of saves. They're not trying to slow the economy to get back to surplus. What they're really doing in a medium-term sense is allowing the economy to come back, and then about 80% of the recovery in the budget is bracket creep.
Do you think these low level of interest rates are sustainable over the next 12, 18 months?
I think basically they're on hold probably until the end of next year, and then we expect to see them gradually starting to go back up. I don't expect them to go up to 5% or 5.5% like they used to. I think somewhere like 3.5% is probably about as high as you need to. We still have a view that says the US will recover, and by the end of the year you will be increasing rates in the US, which means money will be going back to the US, which in layman's terms means that the Australian dollar goes down a little bit. The short term above the 80 cents is all about weakness in the US economy rather than strength in the Australian economy.
And the US economy, where is it going?
I'm still optimistic that America, it looks like it's coming back, but we've had a weak patch. Maybe it's a combination of a strong dollar plus the oil prices in the US. So we've lowered our growth forecast to something 2.5. The government and the IMF are still up at 3. I think that's probably overly optimistic. So it is slowing. I'm still confident, but I'd like to see some strong data soon.
And Europe, how do you see Europe?
Well, the good news is that it's starting to improve a bit. The bad news is the level is appalling. So, the best you're going to get is probably 1.5% growth. The Australian economy is going to grow okay. It's going to grow in real terms around 3% next year. The problem again is that 2 of that 3 is coming from exports, and that doesn't generate much employment. But fundamentally, our unemployment rates are pretty low. Our public sector debt numbers are very low, and rating agencies all came out and said Australia's AAA is fine, and we've got interest rates. Property market, we're still reasonably optimistic. I think the market will slow. The number one that's most important is unemployment keeps edging up. I think steady as she goes is probably a good characterisation of where we are.
Once again, I've been spoiled for choice when it comes to selecting first-class properties for my premium preview, including number 2 Haverbrack Avenue in Malvern. This was once the home of former Prime Minister Sir Robert Menzies, and I couldn't resist heading down to the peninsula to bring you 2 spectacular offerings, one a sprawling French provincial style estate, the other set right on the beach. Wake to the sound of the ocean, take in the spectacular view and step straight onto the sand. 12 Chulham Court on Balnarring Beach truly is a dream lifestyle.
One of my favourite homes, without a doubt. You literally feel like you own the beach. And that's the lifestyle that so many people are looking for in this part of the world. And the way that they've designed the home, from the living areas, from the lounge to the dining to the kitchen, even to the way that you walk in their property and you look down the hallway, all you see is the water, the boys, the yachts, and you know you're there. It is fantastic.
Be swept away by the charm and sophistication of one of the Mornington Peninsula's finest homes, Maison de la Mer.
If you've ever been to Europe and you've ever dreamt of recreating that country farmhouse, this French provincial property has ticked all the boxes. The attention to detail to the garden, the beautiful swimming pool, the views to the north overlooking Port Phillip, it's all just there. This home is beautifully accommodated, it's got open plan living areas. Again, that attention to detail and the finish inside Sheehan's Road is incredible.
One of our most inquired about offerings of the month is a classically sophisticated home with a rich history.
Haverbrack Avenue is very highly regarded. It's a beautiful street, wide tree-lined street. This is the home of the former Prime Minister, Sir Robert Menzies. The home has been fastidiously restored. It's in absolutely wonderful condition and ready to move straight into, and Haverbrack Avenue would be regarded as the location's premier address.
Our final premium preview is a contemporary, spacious family home in Hawthorn East.
Well, this beautiful property at 33 Hastings Road has really been designed for easy living. From the moment you walk through the front door, the parquetry flooring is very impressive, and then the home just opens up as you come into the living area, and the kitchen and family room at the back of the property, the covered area outside. Ideal for entertaining. It's complemented further by an in-ground swimming pool and very convenient to Campbell Junction, and it also has fantastic city views.
really love the way we've put this building together. The majority of the project is the glass with the concrete. I think the timber will really soften it out. That goes well with the concrete, and then the glass works off there.
Bria is incredibly well positioned. It's such a fantastic opportunity for people to be able to be within walking distance to Hawkesbury Village and also Toorak Village. It has been really well received. We're getting some great interest from a lot of local families, but also some offshore interest as well.
It's actually a facade that sort of changes over the seasons. So throughout the year, while the plane trees are full, that will show itself onto the facade. And when they drop their leaves, you'll start to see more of that.
What we're finding is that people love the quality and the high level of detail that has gone into the development itself. I think it sets itself apart from a lot of other projects that are currently being offered.
You can be in the kitchen or you can be in the lounge room, and you don't have the sense that you're just in the heart of suburbia. I strongly believe in this product. I strongly believe in it because the finesse of the detail that's been applied.
Construction at Bria is due to commence in August or September of this year, with completion at the end of 2016. We do have some strong interest in it, so I don't expect them to last for too long.
Australian designers are making their mark on the world stage when it comes to furniture, lighting and interiors. And now for the first time, a curated exhibition of the best in design has been brought together under one roof. A showcase of only the finest in design and the highest of quality, Den is a celebration of imagination and talent.
So the show is a compilation of the best design available in Australia from international design, from Spain, Italy, Denmark, France, and a lot of American design and Japanese.
For leading Australian design commentator Anne-Marie Sargent, the most exciting element of Den is that it's created an international launchpad for homegrown talent.
Our industry is definitely equal to anywhere on the world stage, and that's a given. And more and more we're focusing on our world here because we've got a very strong design voice, and we don't actually need to be running to the rest of the world to try and be them because it's being made here. And Melbourne in particular is really strong with the Made in Melbourne and the designer makers here. It's very strong.
A gallery of discovery, Den is about showcasing the unique and experiencing design.
What we wanted to do really at the Den Fair was create a space that was more about an experience, to give people a feeling of what Great Dane is about. I think with Scandinavian design, I think in particular for Australia, there's been a real kind of passion for it over time. And I think it's simple, it's clean. I think a lot of people would describe it as like a softer modernism.
Strong trends include natural materials, metals, statement lighting and clean lines.
The biggest trend we're seeing is that people are choosing our furniture to use inside as well as outside to carry through a style.
So successful was the inaugural Den Fair in Melbourne, it will return in 2016.